So as Amber mentioned, we have two aims for this workshop. One is customizing fonts for a logo, and then the other one is converting to a TTF file. So there are more steps in this, but this is just kind of the basic idea of what you'll want to do is you'll want to look at a font that you want to customize, and it can be like any font. So for this workshop, I've prepared two different fonts. One is the serif font and one is the sans serif font. And the main trick to customizing fonts is to create outlines of the letters. So that means that, it's not just like a text, and instead you can move it around. And then you're basically going to be creating extra parts to the letter, or you'll be taking parts from other letters to kind of merge with your current word. So for example, this is the font Dito. And on the far left, you have just the basic A. And then in the middle, there's a variation where it's just a swirl that was created with the curve tool. And then the width tool was used to create the different thickness throughout the line. And then on the far right, it's the same variation, but I took the curvy part of the A, I think. Oh no, the F, the curvy part of the F, to just create a bit more of a swirl. And then here's kind of another, a more robust example of how you can kind of connect letters using those tools and make them more interesting, but still have the same font. So yeah, so if you wanted to extend the lower part of the letter D, you can, what I did was I took the letter F and then I flipped it and then inverted it and then chopped half of it off and then just kind of attached it to the bottom of the D. And then I did the same thing with the curvy part of the upper part of the D, like I did with the A, and then the same for the S and the T and the R, which are all connected. But this is obviously an example with a serif font. So if you wanted, oh wait, no, there's another example. You can also just change them in really subtle ways. So you can either just kind of add something onto the font. So it's really nice to have kind of a big overview of all the letters in the font to see what parts you can take from it. And then so on the left, I just have the plain font, and then on the right, I have the modified font. And please ignore how scuffed the G looks. Yes, the curve tool was not being very nice, but you can change them ever so slightly to make them more fun. And then here's a more concrete example if you kind of want to make a font more like a logo. So this font is Futura, which is the font I think Supreme uses. But anyway, well, maybe not anyway. But what I did was this. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. So what I do with this font is I just rounded off the corners. So you can do that by, once you have it into the outline form, you can click on a letter with the direct selection tool. And then as you probably or maybe don't know, there's that circle thingy in the top corner of each corner. And then you can modify all of the corners to be rounded. And so I just kind of modified the S's so the little sushi roll fits inside of it better. The far left S kind of looks a bit weird because I think the curve didn't work as well as the other S. And then I kind of made a torii-gate out of the H and then chopsticks out of the I. So these are just really simple but kind of effective ways of modifying a pre-existing font to create a logo or just something fun. And then here's another example with the same font, but this is literally just kind of making it look slightly different. So I added another stem onto the G, and then I made the M super chonky, and then with the Q, I took out the middle part. So it's just a circle. Oh, well, I should have put this at the beginning because I forgot all of these words. But this is just kind of a fun reference to look back at if you're looking to see what the anatomy of all this type is. So then, you can know what you're looking for, so that the terminal of the A. So like you can say, oh, I need to take that and like attach it to like this end of the T. I don't know. You probably won't need to know that, but it's just fun to know, I guess. And so anyway, these are the 3 tools I mentioned. Obviously, there are a few more tools and commands, but for the most part, you'll want to use the width tool, the pencil tool, and the curve tool. And also, I didn't add it here, but the knife tool is also really helpful. Oh, oops. And so now I'll do a very quick demo of how to kind of modify a font. But does anyone have any questions so far? Please. Okay, cool, guys. Wait, I can't see. What is this? Okay, so here we have the word yogurt twice. So I have the one on top as like an example, and then the one on the bottom will be modifying. So to create outlines, you can either right click and then create outlines, or the command is, if you're on a Mac, it's Shift Command O. If you're on a computer, it should be Shift Control O. So as you can see now, like you can click on the letters, and then when you use the direct selection tool, you can like modify them however you want. Oh wait, that was not what I meant to do. You can like modify them, right? So for this, just for the sake of time, I'll just be connecting G to the H to make kind of an infinity loop type thing. So you would just want to use like the curve tool and try to create like a nice curve. Oh, don't do that though. And okay, to be fair, like full disclosure, I just learned how to do this last night. So some of my techniques are definitely a bit janky. And I'm sure with a lot of practice, you can do this in a more efficient and effective way than I'm doing it. But yes. But yeah, it's just a fun way to, oh no, it's the wrong tool. Kind of jazz up your fonts, so to speak. Oh no, sorry. I get really nervous when doing this in front of people. Okay, and then so you might have like really weird moments like this, and honestly, just because, I don't know, I just like use the eraser tool to fix those moments, although this moment might not be fixable. But okay, so if you zoom out now, you can see it's kind of connected, and it's more interesting than the original one, hopefully. So yeah, are there any questions on the ways how to use any of these tools? Oh yeah, that's true. You can use this smooth tool. Oh, you can also use the, you can go to path, right? And then you can do simplify, and I'll sometimes like make your thingy look smoother or not smoother depending on what you're trying to do. Okay, well, yeah, if there aren't any questions, I'm gonna pass this on to Amber, but I'll be dropping the AI file into the Messenger chat shortly in case you just want to look at it. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, so after you make these like customized type, like if it's just for a logo, obviously it wouldn't matter as much like to turn it into a TTF. But if you want to customize your own font or make your own font and then use it later on, like with your keyboard or like give it to other people to use, we wanted to look into how to export as a TTF. So we found this, we found this app called Bird Font. And if you go onto the slide, then you can click onto our link to download it yourself as well. But basically, it will just help you export like your new glyphs into like an actual font so that you can use it. And I've included like the basic steps here, but I can also just do a demonstration now. But basically, you open up Bird Font and you select the character that you want to export, and then you import your SVG file from Illustrator, and then you can see. And then once you export it, you can install it. But I did just learn how to use it, so like I'm not completely sure with everything yet, but like, okay, so you guys can still see. I'm always paranoid that people can't see my screen.
Yeah, you can see. I think because you chose like share your entire screen instead of like just share one application.
So I made a fish themed like customized typeface for my initials, Kwok. And if I open up Bird Font now, it's actually already open. Okay, let me close it and open it again, just to show you guys. Hold up. So create new font, and then, okay, I don't know which one I just selected. Oh, space. Sorry about that. Okay, so if I select A, then I can go here and import my SVG file, which I just exported from Illustrator. It's here. And like, if you make a mistake like I did, where like you draw a shape and it overlaps, like it's gonna show up as negative space. Like, okay. Now I'm getting confused. This is, okay, let me just choose F. Okay, so like pretend that this is your final product for your A. You can then save it and then export fonts and put it. Then you can find the typeface on your desktop and just install it. There are some really strange things that Bird Font is doing here, where like, I don't know why it's like, so like, if you recognize this, this is the one that Palmer made and she sent it to me. And if I open like Photoshop and I try and use it, like it kind of shows up like this. So I do have to figure out how to make it actually work. But I'm confident that it will work in the end.
Can you try it in Illustrator?
In Illustrator, yeah. Okay, anyway.
The eye looks like a penguin.
Yeah. Okay. So if I look for the font, I think it's called typeface. Yeah, it's kind of strange what happens here. Where like, when you do this, you can see Palmer's A, but it doesn't actually work. I'm sure it's our fault though. I'm sure like Bird Font actually does work. But yeah. If you make all of your characters and you import them into Bird Font, you can eventually just use them as your own typeface. And if you want a better tutorial, Bird Font actually has like a lot of detailed instructions of how to do different things, including exporting and creating the font from scratch inside of Bird Font. If you don't want to do it in Illustrator first, you can use the drawing tools, control points, whatever. Yeah.